Welcome to the bulletin. We start off where they are visibly traumatized and disturbed after spending 38 days in detention in Uganda. Nicholus, Oyoo and Bob Njagi are back home to their friends and family. Tonight on KTN Prime, they narrate their ordeal, a story of pain and being let down by government. Here's a snippet of the interview with Dennis Aseto. Don't miss the full interview coming a bit later in this bulletin.
To appreciate the role that Standard Media Group in particular has done towards helping us to get our freedom. We've just been informed how you took a lot of space to publicize this issue as a human rights issue. So we really thank you, and we hope that you can continue in that spirit. We were abducted on the 1st of October when we got to a petrol station called Matuga Starbucks petrol station. This Starbucks petrol station is owned by none other than the president of this republic. That's where we had parked our car without knowing. And so it is a coincidence or not that we are arrested at the same venue where belongs to the president. And the manner in which we were arrested was by military surveillance team.
So if somebody imagines that you're taking tabia zetu mbaya is to protect him one day. I know he may get himself in a situation where he is there, and he will call for us to bring solidarity. We went to Uganda in solidarity of somebody who we have known before, we have worked with before. If you listen to our slogans, when we say people power, we say higher power. Then they say people power, our power. So we are sister organizations, and we are people who work in solidarity. Solidarity can even mean that I come to court, even when there's nothing else I do. At least you know I'm there. So that is what took us there. And if somebody feels that that is wrong, then they should tell me what East Africa is about.
If you look at the East African, just to interject, to add on to what he's saying, if you look at the East African Charter, our integration is based on certain pillars: economic pillar, political pillar, and social pillar. And therefore, it means that if we have ideologies in Kenya that can work in Tanzania or vice versa, we need to share these ideologies.
And still on that story, 4 days ago, 2 Kenyan activists walked out of captivity. Bob Njagi and Nicholus Oyoo were not arrested. They were abducted, snatched off the streets of Kampala while attending the opposition rally. For 38 days, they were hidden, tortured, and denied even the dignity of daylight. No court, no charges, only chains, painkillers after beatings, and a cell the Ugandan president once called the fridge. Vera Mora gives us the details of their ordeal.
It has been 4 days since Kenyan activists Bob Njagi and Nicholus Oyoo were freed from captivity. On October 1st, 2025, in Kampala, Uganda, the 2 activists attended a political campaign rally for opposition leader Bobi Wine. As they later recounted, 7 heavily armed men ambushed them at a petrol station and bundled them into moving vehicles.
But as we got to Kampala, the vehicle had a problem, and we parked the vehicle at the petrol station called Starbucks. This fuel station is actually owned by the president of Kenya. But at 10 o'clock in the morning, about 7 armed men, heavily armed military men, confronted us, and one of them introduced himself as an officer and said that we need to go with you. You need to come with us.
So we were taken there, went to a military facility. It's called Kasenyi. Kasenyi, there we stayed for 23 days. In Kasenyi, it's a military camp. Serious bombs and serious bullets and all that stuff. Those were the things that were happening there. So that is a place that psychologically is a very big torture.
Oyoo and Njagi were never granted their day in court. Instead, what followed was 38 agonizing days of torture and a slow erosion of dignity and humanity.
So we were taken to the safe house, and there, now it was lock-in. That was lock-in, no seeing out, no getting some small sun, no getting any good fresh air. Yeah, it was a mess there, but after 14 days we were removed.
It is the son, Muhozi, who is undertaking these crimes against humanity. They have been undertaken at the Special Forces Command Center in Kasenyi. That is a training ground for the presidential security team. And they call themselves next to none because they are next to none. They don't take command from any other, either the judiciary, whether it's parliament, whether it's the executive. So this is an armed militia that is operating under the General Muhoozi. And there are so many Ugandans. I left there over 150 of them in custody.
Inside the dark cage where they were bound in handcuffs day and night, they were denied light and stripped of all personal effects.
Yeah, I was tied to something like this, and I was whipped severally, and they could ask me questions about some of those groups that we were in.
I was tortured on the second day during interrogation. I was removed from the cell, blindfolded, taken to a room, chained into a chair like this on one hand, one officer at the back, another officer in the front. The one in the front would hit me with blows while I'm being asked, because they took our phones. And so they would go through the phones and ask us question, who is so-and-so? Who is funding this movement? What have you come here to Uganda to do? So these were all interrogations on the second day. Thereafter, they gave us painkillers, paracetamols. That's all we got, so that we can heal quietly for those 38 days when in that place. We were denied all basic hygiene. We used to pee in a small kind of tin. The food was, we could take 1 cup of porridge in the morning, a plate of ugali and beans for lunch and for supper. That is the menu for 38 days.
When they were finally moved, it was not to freedom, but to another hidden safe house in Ronyo, Entebbe, a place where the walls whisper harsh cruelty.
The Minister for Internal Affairs, Mutafiri, he's looking for his brother. He was my bedmate. His brother has been in the same place for 4 months. The family doesn't know where he is. They think he's dead. I left him in the cell and he asked me, Bob, he asked me to talk to you to make sure the message gets to the president, because the president is not aware about some of these things. It is the son, Muhoozi, who is undertaking these crimes against humanity.
Despite the ordeal, Oyoo and Njagi refused to bow down. Their spirit remained unbroken. Their release after 38 days was not just freedom from captivity. It is now a declaration that they will continue with their fight for justice no matter the cost.
People power, our power, people.
Vera, Mura, KTN.
People. We are the people. So we are moving forward with this revolution.
Bob Njagi and Nicholus.